welcome to another episodic podcasting adventure. It's Talkamania.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Talkamania. I'm your host, Desvino, with my tag team partner, J-Bomb. Say howdy, J-Bomb.
Hey, man. How's it going, dude?
It's going pretty good. Another week at the grind and another week here with you.
That was a lot of wrestling in a week. Not going to lie.
It was. SummerSlam was action-packed. Lots going on. Some negatives, some positives. Overall, I had some chance to reflect upon it. It wasn't as bad as I kind of first assessed it. I don't know, a lot of short matches for me, I guess.
It seemed to be like the trend of the night, right? There was 4 squash matches on the card?
Well, it's funny. I mean, we'll go over them in more detail, but I mean, the shortest matches on the card that kind of stood out for me, Finn Balor, he put the demon makeup on, right?
Yeah.
He takes on Corbin, puts on all that makeup, and the match is a minute and 35 seconds. So that was one match that stood out to me.
It was a good match, though. I liked it.
Yeah, it was good, actually. It was pretty cool. Short and sweet. I liked it. Kevin Owens, unfortunately, got buried this past Sunday at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
I don't really understand what happened there. The match went a minute and 50 seconds, folks. So after all the build-up with this feud, the added stipulation that Braun can lose a title by any means, they end the match in a minute and 50 seconds. Now, mind you, Braun destroyed Owens. The run to the outside.
Killed him.
Yeah, he looks like he landed on his head the first time. But then that choke slam on the ramp, oh my God, he bounces like a basketball. It's pretty gross. So I don't know if they fast forwarded to that part or they just, didn't have time in the car. I don't know really what it was, but the match was very short and Braun Strowman kept his money in the bank briefcase, but not sure what's going on with KO. Maybe that's just the way they booked it, but there also was no mention of him on Raw either. Not even the fact that Braun had beaten him. Usually when he comes out, they'll be like, oh, he beat KO last night or whatever. They didn't do that. So I don't know what's going on with KO. He actually tweeted something finally today. He's going to be doing some autograph signings until next week in Toronto. And the image is funny because it's kind of like a picture of him at the autograph sign, or kind of on the poster, and then the next picture is zoomed in, the next picture is zoomed in, the last one's zoomed in on his face, kind of like he's not happy or not amused or just trolling us, So, that was another one. A minute and 50 seconds.
You got to think that WWE probably was like, shit, we gave them NXT TakeOver, SummerSlam. They're going to have Raw the next day, SmackDown the next day. And you know what? Every single event delivered for me, man. Every single one had its moments. Every single one.
I won't disagree. Every single event did have its moments. For me, the event of the weekend was definitely NXT. I loved every second of it. I thought the matches were fantastic. And we'll cover that shortly as well, too. We're going to have a little segment dedicated to NXT.
Ooh. Look at us, covering NXT now.
Yeah. We're evolving. Thanks to you guys, you Talkamaniacs. So we hope you enjoy it. But yes, SummerSlam. Overall, it was an all right show. Just the short matches were a bit of a letdown for me. I would love to see KO try to be a little bit sneaky and try to find ways to win during that match, but I guess that's just not the way it played out. But I guess we really thought that Kevin Owens was going to win this one. So
we thought Kevin Owens was going to win the Universal Championship, so we were fucking wrong.
That was not the case, folks. Roman Reigns is your Universal Champion. Surprise, surprise. And no cash-in by Braun Strowman. I think that was the biggest letdown by a lot of people.
Before we get into the nitty-gritty, man, let's tell our folks, let's plug some shit, man. Let's plug our Twitter. Let's plug our PWT. Let's go, bud.
All right. You guys listen. We're Talkamania. Podtastic adventures right here, week after week after week after week. Desmino, J-Bomb, we're your hombres. We're here celebrating with you. We're here talking about wrestling. We're here talking about pay-per-views. We're doing it all, guys. So make sure you follow us at _Talkamania. And hey, we got some awesome merch too. On that Twitter, we got a really, really, really beautiful logo. Well, you can get that logo on a shirt at prowrestlingtees.com /Talkamania. We also have our summer retro tee.
Retro.
We also have our summer retro tee, and you can grab that on Pro Wrestling Tee. And if you do, hey man, we'll plug you for weeks and weeks and weeks to come, just like our buddy Pete.
At Peteopolis. on the Twitter machine.
We love you, buddy. So thanks for buying merch. Thanks for representing. Thanks for being a Talkamania. And guys, you can listen to our podcast on Podbean, on iTunes, however you get your podcast kicks. So check us out. Spotify.
All right. So I guess the biggest news after this week, Roman Reigns is the new Universal Champion. He finally beat Brock Lesnar. They teased the Braun Strowman cash out. They teased it on Raw. There was Roman Reigns on Raw. I mean, it's everywhere. Roman's everywhere. The match at SummerSlam. I was really expecting more from this.
Right. So this is another match that had a short time limit. It was 6 minutes and 10 seconds. Now, it wasn't a minute, but it was 6 minutes and 10 seconds. And for your main event for the Universal title, that's a bit of a letdown. I feel like we could have got more out of these two. They have put on these wars before, but, wasn't the case. And you know what? I was reading something about the Braun cash-in as well, too. The fact that he came out in the beginning and said, I'm not going to, jump somebody from behind. I'm going to challenge the winner to this match. I think, everything points towards the fact that the WWE was anticipating the crowd to just eat them alive. Chew them up, boo them, and spit them out. However, putting Braun there distracted them because who knew Braun was going to cash in at any point in time. So the fact that he didn't kind of was a diversion of our attention. Roman won, and then they really quickly went off the air. So I think they were preparing for the worst here. I think it goes to show you that no matter what, the WWE is going to go with Roman Reigns. And, they did this Sunday, and he's your new Universal Champion.
Now, how long do you think that's going to last? How long do you think Roman is going to... I mean, all our listeners watch Raw. They saw the Shield come out. They saw the Shield protect Roman Reigns. That was an angle I wasn't expecting. I was kind of happy about it, actually, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I thought it was cool, too. And a lot of question marks for me now. Is this just a one-time thing? What does this mean for the feud with Ziggler and Drew McIntyre and Ambrose and Rollins?
Oh, that's dead. That's dead. Oh, no, sorry, that's not dead.
I don't think so. So, looks like they're going to be fighting at Hell in a Cell. So it's going to be, I guess, are they going to be wearing their Shield gear from here on out? Like, I don't like Seth in his Shield gear. He's got all those pockets and stuff, and I don't know.
Dude, it was pure badassery.
It was. I'm fine. I'm picking at the fine things. I'm aesthetics. I like eyes. I like clothes.
Oh God. So
that's
are
for
they?
You, Rucker.
It was a little bit confusing. Are they heels now? Like, was that a heel turn?
No, to me, it looks like they're trying to turn Braun Strowman heel. Because he kind of came out and looking like he was going to cash it in after Roman got his ass, was in a battle, right? Just like he said he wouldn't. He said he would, do it face to face. And I guess he did it to Roman's face as soon as he turned around. He booted him. But it looked like he was going to cash in. I don't know. It looks like they're trying to force heels now down our throat. And but who knows? Maybe they're not going to. Maybe they'll let the fans decide. Maybe they will let it happen organically. I'm not sure. But we don't know. Maybe Braun's going to come out now next week and say, hey, I'm cashing this in at Hell in a Cell, and then takes on Roman Reigns in a Hell in a Cell.
That'd be pretty boring.
It would be.
If it's just a challenge like that.
I fear a little bit that if Braun does cash this in legit, he's not going to win the title. So to me, that's a little bit sad because I want to see Braun at least win it once, or at least have a solid monster run with it. And
Pun
but I don't
intended?
know. Well, yeah, I guess. But it depends really what their plans are with Roman. Are they going to take the title off him right away, or are they going to just keep rolling with Roman just like they have been year after year after year? So we'll see. I don't know what it means for Dean Ambrose and his supposed heel turn. It could still happen. I mean, I'm sure they won't roll out the Shield too long, but maybe I'm wrong on this one. But at least, folks, your Universal Championship is back on Raw. It can be defended now. Awesome. I'm happy about that. And I believe the rumor is that Brock is, for the time being, concentrating on his UFC career and is done with the WWE. So we have some breathing room, folks.
Well, he's got no choice, right? I loved it, man. I know a lot of people weren't loving it on Twitter, having the Shield come out like that. I thought it was freaking awesome, and I hope that they keep, protecting Roman. I just wish there was more people that would be attacking him because there's nobody other than Braun, right, who's going to try and cash in. So, I mean, are they going to be, I know when they came out, that was their whole thing, right? They were going to bring integrity back to the WWE Championship and protect the belt and shit like that. So I'm wondering if that's, if they're going to play on that again.
Could be cool. Could be like every time Braun tries to cash in, the Shield kind of comes in and protects him, and then that's why they end up in the Hell in the Cell, maybe.
Yeah, but I think even if they do a Hell in a Cell, the Shield's gonna ultimately get in there.
I don't know if they're going to be involved in their. Usually, when people are involved in their own matches, they don't show up for the match later on. But I could be wrong.
On Raw, they did. Dean Ambrose faced Ziggler, and that was an awesome match too. Dean looks awesome in the ring now. His new style.
Yeah, a lot more aggressive. I liked his new style. The Dirty Deeds was really, really nice. Very good match back. No complaints. Good stuff. So good to see him come back. And I'm interested to see what happens. I did notice, though, that we have not heard him talk yet on the mic. No speech, nothing. And I'm very surprised because he used to come out, he used to talk every week. So to me, it's like, what's going on? And you don't really see him like, he wasn't giving hugs too much to Seth Rollins, and he wasn't giving him the pound too much, and like he's kind of being distant, and he looked like he was up to something or he was thinking something. You didn't know if he was going to turn or not, and they've been teasing it a little bit, and I like that. But now with the Shield, who knows where they're going to go in that direction. But I liked the match. It was good.
The Shield definitely swerved the whole Rollins heel turn thing.
Yeah, I had no idea it was going to happen either. I mean, usually I can kind of smell things coming, but could not. It was good.
It was very good. That music hit, and I was like, holy shit, how did nobody think of this happening? But it is what it is. Ronda Rousey winning the Women's Championship at SmackDown was another huge takeaway from the weekend.
At SummerSlam.
What did I say, WrestleMania?
At SmackDown.
At SmackDown, okay. At SummerSlam, sorry. I don't know, man. I was pretty disappointed with the match. I just wanted more of a wrestling match. It was a co-main event, which I was excited about. It was cool to see Natty come out. That was awesome. But yeah, just no chain wrestling. It was just move, pause. Ronda talked to the crowd a bit too much. It was almost awkward, man.
So I was really happy to see Natty too. Even on Raw this past week when they were cheering her on, she looked like she was going to cry. And I don't know. I love Natty. She's amazing. So, not saying she's the number one superstar women's wrestler of all time, but for what she is and what she brings, she's a superstar. But yes, I agree with you. The SummerSlam match could have been a lot better. Ronda's working hard, and I get what they're doing with her, and I'm okay with her being champion. It's fine by me. I just want to see her do a little bit more chain wrestling. The match was a little bit underwhelming. All it is hip toss, armbar, her little spinny Samoan drop thing. No chain wrestling, and maybe that's just going to be her style. But I mean, Ken Shamrock made the transition, and he was able to do some amazing chain wrestling. And maybe she'll get there, maybe she won't. But it just kind of, if I was to, say one thing about the match, I would like to see more of a fluid match. When she comes in, she just kind of punch, hip toss, armbar. I don't know. I haven't really felt like I've seen her in a wrestling match just yet. But, is what it is. She won the title. She's your champion now. And now the question is, where do they go from here? Now, we saw both Bellas jump in the ring after she won the title. I know I was complaining about that because I always feel like the Bellas have to get their, get in everybody's little spotlight, get their moment of fame and, kind of soak it up and be part of things. But, I think like we were talking before, it could be part of a bigger picture. There's a heavy rumor that Nikki will be taking on Ronda Rousey. So it could be planting the seed, and I really hope that's what it is, because otherwise, why were they there? It just didn't make sense. They should have been involved in the Daniel Bryan match, if anything. It just was very weird to just have them pop up in this match when they literally have no involvement whatsoever up until this point.
Well, I know you were pissed when we were watching SummerSlam that they were there, and now that it's all panned out, I'm going to agree with you because it didn't make any sense. Now, had they been there and then the next night on Raw when they were there again, had they attacked Ronda or had Nikki attacked Ronda or defended Steph or something along those lines, it would have all made sense because you can just, skip to the future and think about the montage that they can make where Nikki's celebrating at SummerSlam with Ronda and then eventually turns on her on Raw the next night. That could have all made sense. But having them on Raw during the presentation for Ronda was weird. I kept thinking okay, she's going to step in the ring, she's going to break this up, and she just never ended up doing it, which was a total letdown. So at the end of the day, I agree with you. For the first time, there was really no point of them being there. Their star power didn't bring much to it.
And Ronda didn't even mention them too. She was saying, she praised Natty, she praised others, even Liv Morgan. And Yeah, and not even the Bella. So I don't know if maybe that's it. They're gonna be like, "Well,
Maybe that's it.
Maybe that's it. You didn't mention
yeah.
us." Because remember, this match is gonna be in September, late September, I believe. So they have a while to go. They're going to have to build towards this. They're going to have to find some way to do it. So, maybe they're trying to find a place for them. Clearly, it looks like the Bellas are back out of retirement. Brie is going to be wrestling. We'll talk about that shortly.
Yeah.
And Nikki, I guess, is going to find a place as well, too. I guess these women want to have one last run. The last time Nikki did hold a title, it was the Divas Championship. So maybe she wants to get the Women's Championship. She claims to be really...
Good luck.
She claims to be a large part of this revolution. So I think maybe it's a feather in her cap and something that she wants to do. I saw an interesting tweet, though. Somebody, a little bit too negative, but I liked it, though, what they had said, saying that, Nikki's got to move on, and like she thinks she's part of Divas Revolution, but the Diva Revolution happened without her and left her behind. And I kind of feel like she did get left behind. I mean, she was kind of in an interesting position because she was there when they were being all, bra and panties match, and the women couldn't wrestle very well. And for a long time, the Bellas couldn't wrestle very well. I'll give them credit that they work really hard, and they're average or slightly above average at wrestling skills. I mean, I think Daniel Bryan and John Cena really taught them really well. I wouldn't put them at the level as a lot of the superstars on the roster now, the female superstars. And I wouldn't say they're responsible for the revolution. They were present, and they did some cool things. But in terms of, the roster now and the talent coming in, I mean, the Bellas kind of have been left behind. But again, I digress. They are future Hall of Famers, no doubt, for what they've contributed. Just for me right now, it's a bit weird seeing them where they are. It's kind of a funny way to insert them back into the picture. Brie makes sense, but now the question is, where's Nikki going to fit?
Yeah, I agree. If she had some sort of spot on Raw with Ronda, it would have all tied in. Cool to see Brie back. Cool to see Brie jump in the ring. I'm excited for that. We'll get to that shortly. Let's talk about the triple threat match, because we saw both the women's championship matches change hands at SummerSlam. No more Carmella. Charlotte got it. Becky turned heel. We called it. We called it from a mile away. It's about time. I was a little bit upset that she didn't come out with blue hair on SmackDown, but the more and more I think of it, whatever, it makes sense.
We could thank Chris Rucker for that. It was going to happen, and then that guy had to jump in, right?
Cocksucker.
We tried.
It was cool because I didn't know that she was a heel in NXT, so YouTubing around, I got to check out some of her heel promos in NXT. But it was just really freaking refreshing to see her go, and the crowd just loved it.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's the biggest thing. I think that's if you look back at when Sasha attacked Bayley, the crowd reacted very similarly. They ate it up. They loved it, and the WWE didn't really capitalize on that. They put them into therapy, which didn't even really go anywhere. It got forgotten about, and now they're fine. And now they're the Boss and Hug Connection. I think is a terrible name for these guys. They keep trying to live in the past by using these names that were used in the past. I think they should just come up with their own unique name. But whatever, it's fine. But they really missed an opportunity with that, and I feel like they really missed an opportunity with this as well too. Because again, crowd loved it. I loved it. It was the moment of the night for me at SummerSlam.
Yeah, same here.
For sure. It was amazing. Just a look she gave, right when she hit her, she looked like she was going to cry, but then she looked like she snapped. Oh, it was great. And, SmackDown, she comes out and she cuts a pretty good promo. But then what do? They take heel 101 and they try to go the same route they always do and try to have the crowd turn on Becky Lynch. They realize, we're turning her heel, so we got to do the same things heels always do. They come out and they try to rip into come on. Fans aren't buying it. We were always behind you. They were cheering her. There was give Becky a chance hashtags. There was all kinds of... She didn't even believe it, I felt. You could tell. She didn't even believe the promo. So I really hope the WWE opens their eyes and realize, dude, let her be the anti-hero. Let this thing be organic. Let the crowd cheer Charlotte. I mean, cheer Becky and boo Charlotte. It's not that they don't like Charlotte. If if Charlotte goes and beats up Carmella, they'll cheer Charlotte. It's just
exactly.
It's just the fact that they really want Becky and they want this Becky. And I really hope they can kind of realize that's what we want. And I know people were bitching and complaining on social media, and kind of Road Dogg, I think, had answered back saying something around the lines of like, we turn our heels and then you guys aren't happy. Like, what the hell do you want, kind of thing? What you guys don't know what you want. But it's like, they really got to kind of get out of the mentality of just it's just an old mentality. They got to change things up, freshen things up. It doesn't always need to be the same recipes. Let this happen organically. Listen, let the crowd kind of tell you what's best for business. But again, I hope they don't miss the mark here as they did with Bayley and Sasha. I just really, really hope they don't. So we'll see soon enough, but it's early on. And every time that Becky got her hands on Charlotte during that, scuffle, the crowd just exploded. So we'll see. We'll see. We also saw Asuka. Now she's been demoted to a scuffle separator. If you I put it that way.
Scuffle they were separator. All pretty much demoted to scuffle separators this week on SmackDown. But at least they're not dropping the ball as far as like they're letting them attack each other. They're not going to therapy. But I know what you mean when it comes to WWE needs to realize that it's not about heels and faces. It's just about who's going to be the aggressor in a feud and who's going to be, more of a straight shooter.
I mean, there could be so many different things to do now. Like we need to change things up. It's 2018, and I'm not a writer of the WWE. I'm not saying I'm going to solve the problems and all my ideas are the right ideas. But I mean, listen to all those fans. There's thousands and thousands of them in the arena, and hundreds of thousands on social media and on the internet that was so happy to see this happen, and then have her turning on come on, what are you doing? The crowd is so behind her. If anything, you'll sell more merchandise if you keep us happy. And I don't know. I really hope they don't continue. I hope they see what happened this week and they realize they need to go a different route. That's all. And we have Carmella's going to be having a rematch next week against Charlotte. I'm assuming she's going to retain. And then I guess we'll see these two, Becky and Charlotte, in a Hell in a Cell, or at least at the Hell in a Cell. And I really hope we see Becky come out on top.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it would still be too early for Becky to come on top. I'm okay with this going further. She kind of she still needs to chase. She's fun to watch chase the title. I mean, I don't know how good she's going to be as a heel champion just based off of how the WWE would write it. I remember back in the day hearing about why the WWE wasn't so hot on Becky. They didn't really love her accent, and going back and watching all those YouTube videos on her heel promos back in NXT, there was this common thread. Now, I don't want to ruin Becky Lynch because I love her, but I'm going to just play a clip here and you're going to see how annoying it is when she talks. I don't know if anybody else picked up on this, but I'm going to play it right now.
Because SummerSlam wasn't supposed to be about Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns or AJ Styles or Seth Rollins or Ronda Rousey, and it certainly wasn't supposed to be about Charlotte Flair. It was supposed to be about one woman, me. It was supposed to be my time.
I don't know if you picked up on it, how many times she, when she breathes in, there's this, sound. And, it's so prominent on all of her promos. And, I noticed it right off the bat, and I'm probably nitpicking at it. It doesn't bother me enough not to like her, but I could see somebody like Vince being completely bothered by something like that.
Now that you told me that, I'm never going to unhear it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Sorry, everybody, if you hadn't noticed it. She came out and it was just and I'm going to tell you, and it's just holy shit.
Well, I think, if it was really that big of an issue, they would have worked with her on it, and I think she would have got past it. So it can't be something that was, I guess, too bad.
You got to think it's not a nervous thing, but it's just so natural for her to do it. It's probably going to be pretty hard to... I'm doing it now as I'm talking, but it's going to be hard for her to stop doing it.
That's just your regular heartburn, though.
My heartburn?
Yeah.
Straight fire. So where does that bring us then? We got covered the women's divisions.
Let's talk about The Miz and Daniel Bryan.
Oh, shit. The Miz and Daniel Bryan. That was actually a good match at SummerSlam.
The match was decent. Yeah, it was a little bit long, but I guess maybe I'm just averaging it compared to the other really short matches. I don't hate long matches.
I don't hate long matches. It was one of the ones that actually had a pretty good story being told. It carried over.
It did.
Exactly
but I mean, I guess when I look
Maurice
at The Miz, right? His entertainment value and his mic skills are off the charts, but in ring, he's a little bit boring. I find he's not too exciting. He kind of does the same things. He does play it safe. But he plays the coward, and it's fun to watch his matches. Daniel Bryan did all his usual moves and stuff, and it was an exciting match. And inevitably, The Miz cheated. He took the brass knucks from Maurice and clocked. Daniel Bryan won and won the match because folks have been saying this for a while. This is going to be a long feud. Buckle up. So Miz got it, and it was so funny because he came out on SmackDown on Tuesday, and he's like, are you ready? Are you ready to do this? And it looked like he was upset, and he basically announced his retirement from wrestling Daniel Bryan. So I thought it was kind of funny because at first I thought he was going to announce his retirement, period. And then that way he can be like, oh, well, now I can't face Daniel Bryan because I'm retired, And then it would have been really funny if that was it. Like, not that was it permanently, but The Miz kind of went out there and he's like, that's it. I beat Daniel Bryan. I'm done. I'm retiring from wrestling. I've done everything there is to do. I fought a main event at WrestleMania and retained the title. I fought with The Rock. And now I'm going to focus on my career. And nope, sorry, Daniel Bryan. I won. And then basically like the next few weeks leading up to Hell in a Cell is, I guess, Maurice and The Miz kind of playing coward and Daniel Bryan kind of hunting them down. And then in the end, they build up for the Brie Bella kind of surprise. They should have done that maybe the week before Hell in a Cell. I mean, it's kind of cool because now we got weeks of those two kind of playing with each other, cat and mouse.
Ooh,
that's
playing
cool.
with each other. Right? Yeah.
I'm down with that. But it could have been cool to maybe like stretch it out a little bit, and it would have been funny to see Miz be such a coward that when he finally beat Daniel Bryan, he decides to retire.
Yeah, that could have worked. I agree with you because he could have just been like, "I'm retired. You can't book me in a match." He could have been arguing with Paige. No, I'm retired.
How dare you lay your hands on me? I am a future Hall of Famer veteran. I'm retired. How dare you? I don't know. It would have been funny.
But I'm really, really, really stoked for Brie Bella. I'm really, really stoked for Maurice to be back in the ring. A little bit funny that it's kind of like we saw Nikki and John Cena fight them, so she'll go through all the Bella family.
Hey, I give respect for Maurice for getting in the ring so quickly after giving birth. That's
not bad. Have you watched any Miss and Mers?
No, I have not yet. I've not yet watched it, but it's definitely on my PVR.
I just today binged it, all 5 episodes.
You like?
The first episode was tough to get through because it was like they were still feeling it out, pretty fake-ish. It got better as it went on.
That's what these shows kind of are in a sense, but sure.
Yeah, but it was like not done well. But hey, listen, all the people out there on Twitter that are saying Miz and Marie, fuck, I can't even say that name. Miz and Mrs. is a good show. I've been saying it for freaking years. It's the exact same thing as Total Divas and Total Bellas. Literally the exact same thing. Produced by the same people, done the exact same way. As much as the storylines are cheesy, it's just cool to see the behind the footage stuff when they're walking through the locker rooms.
Yeah, that's what I've always liked.
Yeah. So if you do enjoy it, do yourself a favor. Maybe not Total Bellas, but at least Total Divas. You get to see people like Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax. It's not just about the Bellas, and it's pretty cool to see them outside of the ring, and they talk about how they get their gear. Natty and TJ were freaking awesome. Natty and her father were awesome. Her mom's a bit of a kook, but...
I guess that's where Natty gets it from?
Natty's the craziest of them all on that show, man. But it's fucking good TV, and Lana and Rusev are awesome, too. Miz and Maurice were on last year, and they got the spin-off. That's how popular they were.
Maybe we'll see Rusev Day spin-off.
Ooh, Rusev Day spin-off would be freaking
Okay,
dope,
let's talk about Rusev Day.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. We saw Lana and Rusev take on Cien Almas and Vega at SummerSlam, and they were not victorious, folks. But the funny thing about that was, who was absent? Aiden English. Yeah, so fast forward to SmackDown this week, another rematch. It seems to be the trend, right? So these guys fighting off again for it feels like, in some combination, the 10th time already. But you got Rusev Day picking up the win this time. But how did they pick up the win? Well, guess who comes to the rescue? Mr. Aiden English, folks.
That's right.
So it leaves us with a lot of question marks. Maybe the WWE stood back and said, you know what? They need Aiden English. Like J-Bomb had pointed out last week, them coming out and doing the Rusev Day song, it's just not the same thing.
Not at all, man.
It's not, So having Aiden English there could work. Maybe they're going to keep the three together, or maybe not. Maybe they're still kind of dragging this along. I think Rusev, he looked so funny. It was great, the look on his face. He was so happy to see Aiden. He's like, oh yeah, that's my friend. That's Aiden. Oh hey. He kind of looked all happy. My boy. But then Lana looked kind of confused and maybe angry, so she might still be like, no, I don't trust him, pick him or me kind of thing. I don't know. But I like that he was involved again. Really cool. The crowd seemed to like it. So Rusev Day.
Now, what I don't like about this whole thing is I feel like Sienna, God, I'm having trouble talking today. Andrade, okay, that's just what I'm going to call him. It's easier. He's getting lost in this mix, man. Like, Vega is standing out more than he is. Rusev Day, obviously, because who doesn't fucking love Rusev Day? Even Aiden English is looking like cooler than him at this whole thing. It's really a shame that they're focusing on Vega more than Andrade.
Right?
It's frustrating.
I get that. And if you're a big fan of Almas, I get it. I just feel like, relax. He's on the main roster. He's fighting with Rusev Day, which is one of the most over things on the program. Yeah. And he's going to be booked properly. Don't worry about it. But I get what you're saying. I get the concern. But I wouldn't worry too much. Hang in there.
Hey, we didn't mention? We didn't even talk about AJ Styles versus Joe at SummerSlam. Because that was a pretty good match.
Joe. Yeah. And that match ended in a DQ when AJ lost his shit.
Yeah. They kept fucking up on SmackDown and saying that he'd won, eh? Did you notice that?
He retained, he won. I mean, footnote. But yes, you're right. He technically did not win that match.
And it got more personal. Very cool. They got amazingly lucky with the daughter saying, "Daddy, you're bleeding," and AJ having to apologize to his daughter.
WWE's probably just like gold.
Cha-ching. And then, dude, the way that SmackDown... Did it close SmackDown?
No, it did the tag team title match close.
Oh, you're right. Okay, sorry. Now we'll get to that because that was fucking awesome too. But dude, that was vicious how he grabbed the camera and he's just like, "Hey, Wendy." I was like, yes.
It's creepy.
Instantly became a Joe fan right there.
Oh, there you have it, folks. There you have it.
He's got me.
Cool. I like where this is going. It's going to be aggressive, and I think it's going to be one of the matches in the cell. And seeing what AJ can do in a cell, it's going to be exciting. And being trapped in a cell with Smojo, come on, can't complain there. So
they need to get Wendy involved. They need her.
Yeah, she'll probably be on the outside, and then maybe they'll actually let him blade himself or get cut open, and then she'll be like, "No, Joe, no!" And then she'll choke him out, and then he'll win the title, and then she'll be like, "I, made him not. He's no longer a man, and I did it in front of his wife and children." It'll be like, "Oh my god,
yes.
Dark. Yeah." He's foaming. J-Bomb's foaming at the mouth right now.
Foaming at the mouth. He needs to be grating his face on the chain while Wendy's trying to get in.
That's exactly what I had in my mind when I said it. So there you have it. On the same page.
So yeah, New Day.
New Day.
I love the match at SummerSlam. I felt like I get that you have to do these DQs and stuff. I don't know. I feel like whatever. We got the payoff on SmackDown because that was amazing. Even had New Day not won, that match was, I think it was Bludgeon Brothers' best match ever.
Close to it, yeah. I could maybe agree with that. Now, the thing I will say, though, is we kind of knew they were going to lose the titles. It was more or less a spoiler just because the long game was for them to most likely be fighting at Hell in a Cell in a cell, maybe the tag team match. I think it would have been excellent to see Bludgeon Brothers versus New Day. However, Eric Rowan has suffered an arm injury. And he's going to be having surgery, and he is going to be out of commission for the next several months.
Is Luke Harper freed? Or is he buried now?
That's what I'm hoping. # Free Harper, folks. Get it out there. But I'm hoping. He actually on Twitter had thanked Rowan, too. He said, "Thank you, Rowan." He doesn't tweet normally.
Thank you for fucking off so I could be a singles.
Well, thank you for your service, but you can read into it. Maybe that's what was his plan all along, to kind of put a secret meaning behind it. But yeah, so I kind of knew they were going to lose the titles. That's kind of it. They were dropping them. And I think he got thrown into the barrier, Rowan, at one point. Kind of took him out of commission for a bit. So they played it safe. But again, he did wrestle with his arm injury. So, much respect there. And it seems like one of the two of them are always getting injured. So, here we have it again. Maybe this will help out Harper. But there you have it, folks. The new tag team champions, the New Day.
The backstage promo, because we don't see many backstage promos from the New Day that don't involve them just talking about pancakes and shit. With Big E's injury, did you notice that there was any undertones or anything that could have given you an idea? Maybe I thought they were going to kind of blame him for the loss at SummerSlam or something along those lines. Was there any seeds planted in your mind?
No, I didn't. No? I didn't feel that. I just, I just kind of who's going to go in and fight tonight? It's going to be us two because Big E's and ribs. It's kind of just explaining things a little bit.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah, wishful thinking. Yeah. I think maybe we'll get there one day, but we're not there yet. They just won the tag team titles too. Maybe when they lose them, one of them are going to cause them it. I don't know. But what I am excited about is all the matches we're going to get now with the New Day, the Usos, the Bar. Oh, I can't wait. You know, having those, and right away we know the Bar is going to be challenging New Day, or it seems like it. So excited for that already, folks, and put it in a cell. And
the Good Brothers, they were involved as well.
Yeah, the Good Brothers. That's true. Yeah, it's good to kind of, well, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of them, but it's cool to see them get in the mix. I like to see them get a fair shake and see what they can do in this kind of matchup. I feel like they could be one of those teams that could be involved in these like, epic tag team matches if given the chance, but maybe I'm wrong. But at least I'm very excited to see the Usos, the Bar, and the New Day rip it up once again.
Before we switch to the next topic, Luke Harper. Okay, I was just thinking about this while you were talking. What a United States like group of guys that could be fighting for the U.S. title. You can get Shinsuke, Shinsuke, Almas, Jeff Hardy. Fuck, throw Aiden English in there, or even Rusev. Like, they need to be doing more with that title because Shinsuke and Jeff Hardy, while it was, I mean, that swanton on the apron was insane. It's stale for me.
But then he was back like two nights later.
I know, crazy, eh? To fight Orton? Yeah, it was nuts. Dick hands.
Yeah, their matchup was pretty good. It got really physical. Hit the swanton through a table near the crowd.
It was good,
It was cool. It was a brawl, so I like that. And then it was funny, the curtain fell over Randy Orton's head, so it looked like he actually like swanton the head off of Randy Orton. That was funny.
There's SmackDown, like, I know Paige announced it as a special edition, but there was like an NXT-ish feel to the night. I don't know why there wasn't, and especially that Jeff Hardy spot on Randy Orton. Like, the match was just like over, and it's getting more vicious. You know, we're seeing Joe and AJ get personal. Like, it's getting more vindictive. It's getting more.
Now that you mention it,
towards that
I'll agree with that.
angle.
I think it did have a little bit of that feel this week.
It was cool. Peyton Royce came out. We saw the Iconics for the first time in a while.
She didn't get the big pop that you thought she was going to get, but she did pick up a win, and she picked up a win over Naomi, which
that's
is pretty
big. That's
it was. I wish it wasn't like a footnote, like she cheated or she got distracted.
She's a heel.
I know, but they don't always need. Look. Okay, I'll give you a case in point. Ruby Riott has pinned Sasha Banks 2 weeks in a row, pretty clean. So heels.
Yeah, that's because Vince McMahon jerks off to Ruby Riott every fucking night.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems I have no problem with them pushing Ruby. I like her. I think she's one of the, I guess, better wrestlers out there.
Agreed.
Not that she's the best, but I think she's up there with them, and she's pretty good.
Yeah.
And it seems like they're pretty high on her. Before she got injured, they were having her get these wins over Sasha. Now she's picking them up week after week, and she's coming back. It's when Sasha's entering the ring, so it's not. It's not too much of a distraction, so it can show you that heels can win matches. I just wish for Peyton Royce, and I guess at least kind of what she had to deal with last week, they would have just given her a little feather on her cap or been like,
She got a feather on her cap, though. Corey Graves mentioned it. When she walked out, he said, I've been following her since NXT, and she's never looked better than she does tonight.
Well...
Right off the bat, right when she walked out. And there was pure silence.
Fair enough, and that's
for
cool.
Sure.
But I know, I would like to have seen her win clean. I don't even like Peyton Royce. I'm not even a fan of the Iconics. Just thought it would have been a nice thing to do.
It would have been. It really, really would have been. What else do we see on Raw? Oh, Titus Worldwide, man. I know they're not really something that most podcasts even talk about, but I thought it was pretty interesting. You threw in your notes. When I read it today, I said, shit, fucking right, I want to talk about that, because there's some undertones that Apollo and Dana Brooke are, well, maybe they're bumping uglies.
I don't know exactly, I wasn't sure, because at first it seemed like it. It kind of did. And then I'm like, oh, well, maybe they're just talking about like, look, Titus has been like the downfall of their success, and maybe they should just, move on without him or something. And maybe that was the case. I think he has been costing them a little bit lately. But who knows? It definitely looks like they're looking to break the two up. So I guess you're going to end up seeing Apollo versus Titus. It'll happen for a week or two, and then that'll be it. Kind of like when
pre-card or something.
Well, yeah, that's kind of it. They've done these things before. They break people up, and then like even with Mojo and Ryder, it doesn't really gain too much momentum. They'll put it on the pre-card, and that will be it. And then who knows what happens after that? Maybe Titus will go on to be an ambassador, or who knows? I'm not exactly sure, but
Titus is for sure going to be an ambassador.
Well, yeah, it just
lifer.
It just looks like it looks like we're headed in the direction that Titus Worldwide might break up, folks. So I know you're going to be really upset over this. I know this is what you tune in for every week, folks. But brace yourselves. It's going to happen. I'm sorry.
It was odd though, because weren't they heels? Wasn't Titus Worldwide heels?
I don't really. I mean, at one point they tried to spin it into kind of in that direction, but I guess because they're obnoxious and
It just
annoying.
didn't work.
But I think they still try to make them faces. I mean, they've been taking on Authors of Pain, and
that's true.
So I don't know. It's fine. I'm kind of interested to see where this goes, just
Me too.
because it's an interesting storyline with Titus Worldwide.
Yeah,
So
true.
that's it. But
Yo.
so there's a huge announcement made this week. One thing I definitely wanted to touch on before we wrapped up this week, or at least for our main content, and that was the game. Triple H will be taking on The Undertaker for the last time. Are you excited, J-Bomb? Are you excited? Tell me how excited you are for this.
Last time, I doubt it, but that promo was fire. I loved it. Triple H to me is the man. I know you've mentioned a lot of times that he always inserts himself into big things, but, he wasn't at SummerSlam, so that was cool. And I think this type of event, especially, is the type of event to have these quote-unquote legends or part-timers all be a part of, because it's a big draw. It's in another country. They don't go there often. So give them the best of the best from all eras. I'm extremely excited about it. It's a win-win. Whoever walks out there it's going to be fun.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, when I was kind of building it up, I didn't think you'd be that excited about it. It's not a match that I'm over the top excited about it, but I think you kind of laid it out perfectly. It's great for these kind of events. I think Triple H and Taker, it's going to be a fun match. You got these two, I was going to say relics, but it makes them sound old, but that's what they are, folks. And they're going to put on, a pretty good match for what they can do. I easily see Triple H letting Taker beat him. So I could see Taker definitely winning this match. But regardless of who wins it, I think it's going to be great for the fans. It's going to be great for the event. And I know they had talked about the match that they had where Shawn Michaels was the referee and the crowd was shouting HBK this week.
I was going to just mention that to you.
Would be kind of cool if they could insert him in there somewhere as well too. But do they really need to do it? Would it be kind of stupid to kind of try to recreate history? So who knows? I'm still hoping that Michaels is going to wrestle at WrestleMania 35, where we're going to be in the house so I could see it. I swear to God, I would be very, very happy to be part of history and see that match. But on that note, though, I saw a recent interview with Shawn Michaels where, people keep asking him. He's like, well, I can't really get through a day without somebody asking me about it. And, you have to understand that I'm old now and I'm not the Shawn Michaels you remember. And, I think he was leaning more towards the fact that, like, look, if you're going to have me go in and have a match with, Adam Cole or AJ Styles or, Daniel Bryan or somebody kind of more, I guess, in their prime, he would feel a bit nervous because, he's just not the Shawn Michaels he used to be. And I think one of the biggest things, and I've heard this in quite a few interviews with Shawn Michaels, is that a big part of these WrestleMania matches for him, he doesn't mind wrestling the matches, and he just doesn't not like the build-up towards them. It creates a lot of anxiety for him that he's got to perform to that level. I guess obviously the workout regimen and the mental preparation and all that stuff. And he's just happy when it's over. And so I don't know, if he will be wrestling at WrestleMania, but he did say he would definitely be open to maybe being in a match where it's more having fun, a tag team match or something that's more comedic or fun to do. And that way, he doesn't have to go out there and have all that pressure. But who knows? Maybe McMahon will give him a big enough paycheck where he's like, hot damn, put me in the ring with AJ Styles. We'll see.
Oh my God.
We'll see.
I didn't even think of that possibility. I could see him, though, being that cool guy who's going to put somebody over. And
I think
AJ
he
Styles
can do fine. And he's just, not, just don't stress over too much. I think AJ can make somebody look good, and I think Shawn Michaels can. So if they work together, they can put on a hell of a match. But we'll see, folks. We'll see. I just feel like Shawn Michaels versus AJ's got to happen, man. It's just got to happen.
Shawn Michaels versus a lot of people should happen.
I think Shawn Michaels versus The Rock is one that, like, it's just a travesty we never saw, but is what it is.
It wouldn't do anything for me, to tell you the truth. Like, it would be cool, but it's like what you mentioned. I'm excited that Triple H is fighting The Undertaker, but I'm not, like, more excited than anything else. It's cool, but I'm not, like, dying to see it. You know what I mean?
I feel you, folks. All right. It's time for some NXT news. All right, folks. So we've been watching SummerSlam this week. We had Raw, we had SmackDown, but to kick it all off, last weekend we had NXT TakeOver. And folks, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, where something about it is a little more special. And this event was no different. I tuned in and I was happy from the bottom of the card to the top. Short and sweet, 5 matches, phenomenal, folks. The tag team battle was great. I know you said you were really happy to watch that match too. I think they always put on some really good tag team matches versus NXT.
They just do it differently. They do it not quite New Japan style. And sorry, New Japan marks, if I'm getting this wrong, but it's just a lot more like tandem efforts. Like, you know, like in triple threat matches in the WWE, there's usually one person injured outside of the ring and then 2 people in the ring. It's not really a 3-way thing going the whole time. NXT captures the 4 of them, ripping all around the ring, doing a whole bunch of types of tandem moves to each other, and that's why it's so fucking exciting to watch.
I tell you, folks. And talk about exciting. Match of the weekend for me.
Yeah.
Blows every match out of the water. Adam Cole and Ricochet, folks. Holy crap, what a clinic they put on. Could be a candidate of match of the year. I thought it was great. I thought Ricochet just nailed almost everything that he kind of threw out there. And Adam Cole looked great too. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Adam Cole is probably going to be brought up to the main roster soon. So they may be preparing him for that. You know, they could have been like, you know, Adam, you're going up the main roster soon. Go out there, make Ricochet look good. And that is what he did do. And man, some of those moves that he hit were devastating. And that springboard, the moonsault into the super kick, into the neck breaker. Oh my God. He hit it perfectly. And that's going to be in highlight reels, I think, for a long, 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 long time. And for me, it was a really, really cool match. Seeing Ricochet win the title was great too. It looks like the WWE is really starting to believe in this guy, and they're letting him be himself, which is something that I think he was worried about, and all of us were also worried about. So for me, I just blown away.
We'll see what happens when he gets to the main roster.
It's cool when you
That's
can have a
my only
match
fear.
where, like, every 2 seconds, it's like, oh. It's like, it was just, I don't know, just the crowd just, magic. Look at me. I'm at a loss for words. I have no words.
It's crazy because, like, the Kairi Sane Shayna Baszler match was probably the low of the night, and it wasn't even low.
It wasn't.
You know what I mean?
It wasn't. It wasn't a bad match by any means. I wish it was a little bit longer, but I think the match was cool. I think people were complaining about the way it finished. It was a bit odd how it kind of came out of nowhere, but I thought it was kind of cool because usually you see Kairi win with the insane elbow or the anchor submission that she has, or you see a choke out, right? So this one was kind of fresh. I like roll-ups sometimes because it kind of keeps things fresh, and then it makes you believe roll-ups can actually win sometimes. So for me, I like that, and I think it was believable. She kind of got the better of her, got her at a moment of weakness, used the leverage, and ended up winning the title. And folks, you know, try to look at the bright side here. If you're a Shayna Baszler fan, she will be heading to the main roster very soon. The rumored match between the 4 horsewomen of the UFC and the 4 horsemen of the WWE is supposed to happen in September. I don't know what that means, folks, now with Becky Lynch. We'll see what happens. But definitely looks like Shayna's going to be on her way. And I will say, you know, looking at Shayna from the Mae Young Classic versus Shayna now, she's grown a lot. She knows to do the small little things in the ring. The psychology's great. You know, she can't rock a mic, but she's getting better. So I'm pretty critical too on people, folks. If you tune into Talkamania, you'll know that. And I think Shayna's definitely on her way to being something special. And I hear good things about the other 2. I don't think they have the look in my eyes, but I'm not used to seeing them. But from what I hear, I think one of them is actually the one that looks like they had the most potential of the 4, and that includes Ronda. So at least that's some good news that these horsewomen have something that they can bring to the WWE. So I'm looking forward to that, I guess. So moving down the card, folks, we got Velveteen Dream. He took on EC3. So now you're saying that you wanted EC3 to win this match?
No, never want anybody to win against Velveteen Dream. But I don't hate EC3. I know you don't like the guy. He looks like a
straight out of Jersey Shore.
Yeah, he looks like a sack of patat, but like he's a needed character. He's kind of like a new version of Ted DiBiase. You know, he's like the 1%, and I just think that there's a lot of potential for somebody with a character like him to be thrown into a whole bunch of storylines. The build with Velveteen Dream was awesome. I mean, the pool scene, dude, like. Those promos are fucking so refreshing compared to WWE, don't you find?
I do. I agree.
It's just nice to see them having a character. Like, I like Seth Rollins. I like Dean Ambrose. But really, what's Seth Rollins' character? He burns it down. What's Dean Ambrose's character? He's a lunatic. Like, those aren't characters. They don't have a backstory. So it's nice to see that they can have a backstory.
You don't know Dean Ambrose. You didn't walk a mile in his shoes.
Well, you know what I mean. Like Bray Wyatt, right? He's a character. Undertaker, he's a character. They don't always do great stuff with it, but I think EC3 can do it.
Well, we'll see. Again, I think the WWE seems to be high on him. I think he was rumored to be one of the call-ups too, which kind of surprised me, but maybe they have plans for him and think he can fit in, just like you're saying. Maybe that's the role he needs to fit into. But the Velveteen Dream did pick up the win, but I did notice that he was wearing an interesting pair of tights.
On his butt.
On his butt. He asked Vince to call me up. So, clearly he had the go-ahead to wear these tights, but definitely sending a message. My concern is I'm down for the Velveteen Dream and what he does and what he represents, and I think he's a huge part of NXT. I'm just worried that won't translate well over to the main roster because we've seen that happen. I mean, Bobby Roode, I'm not going to compare him with Bobby Roode, but Bobby Roode, he who shall not be named, although we keep...
Yeah, I was just going to say, he said his fucking name twice.
Well, you know what? He hasn't been on the main roster for quite some time. People got to try to remember who he is. Otherwise, if I don't say his name, they just might not. So, is what it is. But folks, I'm just worried a little bit that Velveteen may end up being ruined if he comes up to the main roster. Maybe they won't have time for him. They might not put him in the right angles. I'm just worried. Maybe he won't. Maybe he'll translate into an amazing superstar and a future Hall of Famer. Just be careful, folks. Let's think this one through.
Look, I get it. I get that there's always a fear with characters from NXT coming up. I get it. But he who shall not be named, and guys like Ty Dillinger and whatnot, they weren't always that fun to watch in the ring. They were kind of over because of catchphrases or entrances or work that they did outside of NXT or WWE for that matter. But Velveteen Dream's in-ring ability, even if they completely scrapped his character, he's just fucking fun to watch.
No,
and his build is cool.
Yeah, maybe he will be the master of his own fate, and no matter how they book him, he's just going to look awesome in the ring, and that's all there is to it.
Because I agree, is his shtick probably doesn't translate well into main roster. It's weird, and Vince or creative, wherever he goes, is probably going to, mess it up.
All right, let's cap this off now with a long-lasting feud going another mile.
Yep.
Ciampa versus Gargano in another all-out war. So this match was they gave him quite a lot of time to play the story out, I guess. And
I love it.
The match was long. It told us the story, and it was grueling. Lots of cool spots and lots of boogers. Lots of boogers.
Lots of boogers.
That was pretty gross. Kind of looked like a little maggot on his mustache there, and then another one, little one poking out later. But yeah, the ref was telling him to wipe it. The ref even told him to lay into him with a chair too. The ref was communicating a little bit too much. But you know what? The match was cool. The ending, if you look at the angle, he didn't even hit him with the knee and just kind of ran right into the speaker. But it was clever. I like kind of how he was, taken out, and then Ciampa was able to kind of get to his feet by rolling off the side of the stage, and it was good. I'm happy with the ending. I thought the main event was great. Ciampa is the champion, and Ciampa is money. He's definitely really, really hot, if not one of the hottest stars in the WWE. And who knows what's going to be the future for Ciampa? Who's he going to be defending the title against next? Will it be Gargano once again? Do the fans really want that? I don't know. But again, NXT wrapped up in an amazing way. The pay-per-view was great, top to bottom, and NXT.
The thing with Ciampa and Gargano is that I watched them all. I watched them all live. It's been an engaging story. This one was a little bit less just because it was so similar to their last match. Like Last Man Standing, I think the last one was like a street fight or something, so it was similar. They had a couple of the same spots. It was cool. I get that it was kind of by default because Aleister Black legitimately was injured. That's something that's actually a pretty cool storyline going in NXT as well. We'll talk about that in a second, but it was just, out of the three, it was my least favorite. It was great. Don't get me wrong, it was great. It was amazing, but it just kind of seemed like we'd seen it before.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Again, that's why I'm not going to try to sell it too much.
Yeah.
It wasn't my favorite of the feud, and that's why I asked earlier, what's next? Is there going to be another match between the two? And do we want to see that? So I don't know if we do. At least I think I want to see some different things going on with the NXT title. I want to see Ciampa, see how he kind of, I guess, matches up against other people in the roster. Maybe Aleister Black will be okay enough to come back and have that triple threat, or the one-on-one match with Ciampa at the next NXT TakeOver. Only time will tell.
Well, we also have to know who attacked Aleister Black, right?
It was me.
It was you. Yeah. That video of coverage thing was cool. It like when I first saw it, it looked like the only people that were involved were Gargano and Undisputed Era.
Yeah, everybody's there.
And then I watched it back, and it was like the full version, and they found more footage, and then they found like even more security footage, and literally the entire NXT roster was on that video.
I thought it was clever. I thought it was kind of cool. It was very well coordinated.
It was, but it kind of took away. It should have only been a handful of them to kind of make the story like somewhat believable. Like mysterious.
Those old WWE pay-per-view commercials like SummerSlam or Survivor Series.
That's what it was like.
They'd be, superstars would be in the commercial, to be walking through an office, and then like somebody would throw somebody through a window. Yeah. And Stone Cold Steve Austin would be like shoving somebody's face in the photocopier or something. Like it just felt like lots of things were going on at once all around. I liked it. It was kind of cool.
Yeah. But NXT TakeOver was awesome. I mean, I don't want to put down the main roster because I think that SummerSlam was okay. Raw and SmackDown were great this week, but NXT TakeOver, I mean, they just got the right formula. It's short, so it's 2 hours, and there's only 5 matches, so each match gets its time. It's like they each get almost half hour. It's pretty nice. Yep. So before we wrap up, Des, you got some things to flash through, some wrestling news, as we call it.
Welcome to another edition of In Wrestling News. So, lots of news happening this week. We're falling out from SummerSlam, and one of the big pieces of news is, well, where has Matt Hardy been? They lost their tag team match against the B team, and since then, it's been a bit cryptic. He's been sending out some tweets. Well, it's official, folks. Matt Hardy is now a producer with the WWE backstage. So, does that mean Matt Hardy is retiring? I don't think so. At least not yet, but I think he'll be more involved backstage. I guess they're going to kind of see how he fits in that role and see if it really kind of is his niche. And in the meantime, lets him heal from some injuries. The guy walks around like he's in a lot of pain or he's sore. So this might be the best thing. And I know his wife was tweeting out that he's got to make a choice soon. So it looks like that will be, I guess his career is winding down at the very least. And on the flip side, I know Jeff Hardy had an interview recently where he said he wants to have at least one more championship run. So I don't think Jeff Hardy's done just yet. But Matt Hardy, thank you for the memories. At least for now, until we meet again.
So where does that leave Bray Wyatt?
Well, I think Bray Wyatt's going to repackage himself. And also, it could be, he teased coming up with music for something. Either it's a podcast or a new intro. I don't know. But think about this. With Eric Rowan being injured, does this mean that it just makes sense to put Wyatt and Harper together again? They might just do that. I'm not saying they should. I'm not saying they should reunite the Wyatt family, although it could have its cool moments, but I feel like the WWE could take the lazy route, and that's what they'll do.
They're on different shows.
Nah,
so
it
hopefully
doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know, but hopefully
that won't stop them. All right, folks, in other news, we have lots of war. We have lots of drama. Well, in the WWE, we got lots of love because Luke Gallows and Nia Jax are officially dating.
That wasn't a joke?
They are so in love. I haven't seen two people this... Oh, wait. Breaking news, folks. Sorry.
Well, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
This just in, Nia Jax and Luke Gallows have officially broken up. I'm sorry, folks. I know you're rooting for them. I know you're excited, but sometimes love just doesn't work and you can't force it. So I don't know what that was about, but Gallows was tweeting basically that he's dating Nia Jax, and then, the next day basically said they were broken up. So I don't know if Nia Jax got kind of alarmed about them exposing this and said, oh, no, I don't want to date you, or I'm sure it was just them having fun, folks, but there you have it. We've heard about shortest entries in the Royal Rumble. Well, this is the shortest WWE relationship in history.
It probably fucked up a storyline for her on Total Bellas.
Maybe it's going to play in the total belts. Who knows? Who knows? They're just having some fun. And so are we, folks. Now, one thing that's not so fun is an angry Asuka. Urgh. So, we've seen Asuka not really being used since her loss to Carmella, or I guess her multiple losses to Carmella. And they really don't know what to do with her at this point. You saw her come out and interfere and try to separate Becky and Charlotte this week. And that's really sad. I know she was on the pre-show, so she was on before SmackDown aired against Mandy Rose and beat her. But, that's not really a storyline. There's not really much going on there. So there's been some rumors floating around that Asuka may turn heel. I don't know if she'll be the clown vicious Asuka. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out. It looks awesome. It looks like it had a baby with a Japanese woman, and that's what came out, Asuka. And really, really cool. But I don't know. We'll see. She might be a heel. It could be cool to turn her and make her vicious. I think it would be a good way to make her credible again, because I guess they could play on the fact that, she hasn't been the same since she lost at WrestleMania. They always have that card. So I'm hoping that's the case. I'd be down to see a heel Asuka as long as she's vicious. But I don't know, folks. We'll see. I'm just hoping she gets back in there some way or the other. And I can't go a week without talking about Asuka, so I had to fit her in somewhere.
I was good to say.
All right, let's move along. We got some things to look forward to now that SummerSlam's out of the way. And one of them is the women's pay-per-view, Evolution. And what was announced? Well, we have one matchup. And it's going to be Alexa Bliss taking on Trish Stratus. A lot of mixed reactions on this one. What's your opinion, J-Bomb? I'm kind of interested.
Don't really care. Bliss losing at SummerSlam sucked. I'm not happy I'm not getting my meal. And Trish Stratus, well, I don't know. Doesn't really do it for me.
I'm down to have Trish Stratus back. I mean, I know people are worried you're going to bring everybody back, and there's been rumors about Michelle McCool. I think her teaming with Layla to take on Iconics could work. Trish, Lita, what's she going to do? Is it going to be against Becky? That could be pretty cool. There was a fake rumor circulating that Asuka would be taking on Lita, but that was proven to be fake. But who knows? Maybe the WWE will see the interest that was kind of sparked by that, and they decide to go in that direction. But Alexa Bliss, Trish Stratus, I wouldn't be the match I chose or the opponent for Trish necessarily. I know they did the dinner for 3 on the WWE Network, and maybe they're tying it together with that. And I know she was a big fan of Trish Stratus, so it's fine and all. But, Trish versus Bliss, I guess it's just a match where Stratus is going to come in and get a win, I guess. And, Bliss is going to do the job, which I'm sure she'll be happy and proud to do. But, yeah, it is what it is. I'm more interested to see what the rest of the card pans out, and then we'll see from there. Why
not just have Trish versus Lita? Why don't you rematch of the century?
Dude,
Why don't
I think
that
would be a great idea right there. Great idea. What do you guys think? Do you think that'd be cool? Trish Stratus versus Lita? Wow. I think I'd like to see that because they highlight that match and they talk about it so much when they main evented Raw, right? They should. I'm down. Good idea.
I just don't see why they are bringing back legends just to have them fight current superstars. There's no storyline. They're making Evolution not a real pay-per-view by doing that. They're making it like the Greatest Royal Rumble and the Super Showdown or whatever the hell it's called over in Australia. Make this part of the regular storylines. Don't make special storylines just for the one pay-per-view. So they should have Trish and Lita coming back, getting pissed or saying, I always got the better of you, and it's like, fuck, I'm going to challenge you in 2018. Let's go for it.
They could have them on Raw, or they could have them on Raw or SmackDown for a couple of weeks, and they could be working together, and then they can kind of say I got the better of you, and they decide to go out, even if it's for respect, both being faces. I think that could be cool. But yeah, I agree with you. I think they could do it a little bit better instead of just announcing the match without any backstory, unless they do build up to it before we get there, maybe. But still, you miss an opportunity not building to that match, and then surprising fans with it. But I guess they want to kind of already open eyes and tune people into it. And I agree. They shouldn't be putting too much of these, I guess, retired superstars on the card. But I'm okay with it considering it's the first Evolution pay-per-view. If they do more, then they shouldn't be bringing them back all the time. But at least for the first one, I think you should put all the legends on there as well, too. So I'm actually okay with that. But let's see how the rest of the card pans out. Let's see.
Yeah, we have to wait and see.
All right, folks. That's it for the news this week, but to wrap it up, I want to send a big thank you to all you Talkamaniacs that tune in every week. But I do got to give a shout out to our fans out there that they really aren't Talkamaniacs. And I'm talking to you, JBL. And I'm talking to you, Ty Dillinger. You blocked us on Twitter, and you're not a Talkamaniac. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have one more to add to the club this week. Because, let me tell you, the Constable of Raw is not a Talkamaniac. We've been banned because he blocked us on Twitter this week. So, too bad, so sad. I'll get over it. I won't lose much sleep, but we're building up a reputation of anti-Talkamaniacs. And
Don't forget about Bubba Ray, too.
Oh, yeah, Bubba Ray. That was an ordeal as well. But yeah, that's it, folks. Corbin does not like us. He's officially decided not to be a Talkamaniac. I've been trying to reach out to him. I've been trying to push our merch. I've been trying to get him to wear it on Raw. And he just had enough. But I think it had to do with the fact I tweeted that, he took another loss and he's been kind of losing week after week. And I know he's a constable, so it's a pretty big part. And that's kind of the joke. I think he's in a pretty good spot. But it was just a small joke that Constable Corbin is, he's stuck at the bottom of the ladder in the WWE career mode, And I thought, he was just having some fun. And the funny thing was, when he blocks somebody, he blocks everybody who was involved in the thread. So I'm sorry to you folks out there who participated in the conversation and got blocked due to Talkamaniac. And, you guy's a bit salty. The funny thing was, we didn't even mention his handle. The guy literally sits there backstage and searches his name. How sad is that? But
Do you think maybe he had already blocked us prior to that?
No, I don't think so. Because I was actually checking his profile out recently, and some people that were actually in on the thread were like, "Oh, how did you get? Oh shit, I'm blocked too." So yeah. So sorry, folks, for inadvertently causing Baron Corbin to block you. But we're just having some fun here at Talkamania. If people can't take it, then you know what? It's fine. It's fine. And I'm still going to try to get Baron Corbin to wear a Talkamania shirt on Raw. So we'll see where that goes.
And if he doesn't, we'll just fucking ban him. So that wraps up another episode of Talkamania. Thanks again to all you Talkamaniacs for tuning in. Follow us on Twitter @_Talkamania. Check us out on Pro Wrestling Tees at prowrestlingtees.com/Talkamania. Go buy some merch. Get plugged like our buddy Pete @PeteHopless on Twitter. Check him out. He's the shit. Apart from that was a huge week in wrestling. I'm going to enjoy the next few days of not having to watch WWE content, even though I'm probably going to go watch NXT right after this. So, on behalf of J-Bomb, I'm out. Say bye, Des.
Happy Rusev Day!
Suckers walk!